All right, so we should be on. Yeah, we're on Facebook. I mean, we're on YouTube now.
We're not on YouTube now.
What the fuck? Are you subscribed to YouTube?
Yes, I am. I even pay for it so I don't have to watch commercials.
I'm on Friends in Recovery. I'm on. You sure? Go to our Friends in
I'm
Recovery
positive.
channel.
Oh, you can't tell it. You can't see it, but yeah, there's nothing. We're not live. Our last thing was high moral standards, and when I go to actually view channel, I can go to live, and the only one is in your house is in order. Trust me, I'm a YouTube junkie. I know how to find a live one.
Stream health is excellent. Why are we not?
I don't know, but we got to go, Ed.
I know. I know. I don't know. It should be
If
live.
um if the YouTube live is important to you, we can also reschedule and do it next Friday. I do have availability at 3.
Well, I mean, it's 3:30 now. You have to be off by 4. It's up to you.
45 minutes is good.
You guys are all right. I mean, I don't have to. We don't have to have it on YouTube. It just pisses me off why it's not going. So, all right. So we're on Facebook, right? And we're doing something on YouTube. There's something going on YouTube. Oh, unlisted. Hold on. Private. Edit. Okay, hold on. I see it. We should be able to do this now. Fuck. Sorry. I have no idea, guys. Oh, hold on. Not for kids. Stream contain promotions. No. Wow. Where is the? I almost got it, guys. Hold on. Recording date. I don't remember doing any of this
I
though.
don't think you did any of that last time.
Jesus. Streaming. It's unlisted. Visible. Okay. Let's do this. Now it should be public. I do not remember doing this, but it should be live now. Because it was saying it wasn't public, but now it should be.
It's not.
Save. I might have to save. Now try it. Now it should be. Yeah, tell me it's public now.
Now we're live.
All right. Okay. What's up, YouTube? Oh my God.
Nice.
Well, Haley has to go, guys. That was a great show, Haley. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. We'll make sure all your stuff is in the show notes, and it was wonderful. All right, we got it all. We got it all. All right, Cosana, right? Cosana.
Cosana Coaching.
Coaching. All right. Sorry, YouTube. We got you guys live now. We
Apologize
do
to Facebook. They were there and waiting.
Yeah, Facebook. You guys are like troopers. Thank you,
The
guys.
rock stars of
YouTube
the
had
day.
no clue.
I know. Let's see. John is on. Hey, listen, it wasn't all me. Haley screwed something up too, so I'm sorry.
can I
Just
say?
don't blame it on me, Bambi. It's not all me.
Well, my part was fine. That's all I know. I was here and ready.
I know. Sorry, guys. All right. So we got about a half hour to do the show. Everybody says we're good to go. All right. So that was your preview, YouTube and Facebook. You get the behind the scenes stuff. So now we're going to start the show. All right, guys. Let's see. Welcome back, everybody, to the Friends in Recovery podcast. I'm your host, Jersey Ed, along with one of my co-hosts today, Buckeye Bambi. Blah blah Beth is, I don't know where she's doing something with her sponsor. Go figure, recovery stuff. I mean, Jesus. Well, come on. Like, Bambi. Wait, do you do recovery stuff all day long?
Yeah.
Or only on the show? Oh, you do? All right. Maybe I should take a hint from that then. No, just kidding. No, Beth is out with her sponsor, which is great. It's always good to be doing recovery stuff. So she had to bail out today. But we do have, she's not a co-host, but she's going to be our guest, Haley Schiek.
Schiek.
Haley Schiek from Cosana Coaching from Cosana Coaching. We will get more into what Cosana means because apparently we've looked it up and it means all kinds of different things than what Haley's saying it means, and we'll have that for you. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to drop us an email, help at Friends in Recovery. Friends in Recovery Community at gmail.com. You can send an email there. You can also call us at, 800-989-6504. That's to get us directly. And I'd like to give a shout out to Carl, who found us on that number. He found us on the show. So welcome, Carl, to the Friends in Recovery community. We got some new people coming in. And just a reminder, Bambi, I just want to, before we go into any further and put the commercial here, but I just remind everybody, this is a recovery podcast, not a blank A or blank A. This is a recovery podcast. It has nothing to do with AA, nothing to NA, no A programs. We are a recovery show.
It's all A programs.
That's it. Yes. So we're not here preaching AA. Most of us are in AA, or all three of us when we're on together, we're in AA. But we want to welcome in anybody who wants to recovery, if it's MAT, if it's food, if it's whatever it is. And the reason I'm saying that is because Haley's on here and she's going to talk a little bit about, health and food and all that. But I want to make sure that everybody knows that, if you're kind of tuning around the dial, I don't know if you fucking do that anymore on these YouTube things, but if you're looking for a show, stop by us, because we talk about everything here on Friends in Recovery. It's a recovery podcast. So I just want to welcome anybody with any addiction on here. So how was that, Bambi? Was that good?
Very good.
All right, good. Setting us up for the future here. So
right.
Anyways.
I know.
But I want to, you know what, Bambi, I know we have to get to Ellie because she's limited with time, because she did mess up at the beginning and she couldn't, I'm kidding. But I do want to make sure that I mention Carl and SoberPod, because they gave us a really nice shout out a couple weeks ago. And it was nice until it got to, we're West Coast, and obviously they're East Coast. I'm like, what? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Obviously we're East Coast. Carl, I mean, come on. I know you produce our show, but be nice to us too. So no, but please go listen to SoberPod, soberpod.com. Just go to SoberPod. Carl does every day. Carl does one of his readings from his book, 366 fucking days sober. And he puts it out. He reads it every day, and it's out every single day. So if you go over to SoberPod, and look for their podcast, you'll listen to that. But while we're on the subject, listen to this. All right, guys. Buy the book. That's all I can say is buy the book and don't shit your pants. End the story. That's it.
It's a great book.
It is a great book. So, all right. So now we got all the business out. Did we give email addresses?
It'll
Subscribe,
be
share, all that stuff. Haley's like, I really got to get going here. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
Come on, Ed.
So, anyways, all right, Haley. Haley Schiek from Cosana Counseling.
Cosana Coaching.
Cosana Coaching. I wrote down counseling, so maybe I should cross that out and put coaching. So
definitely, because you know what? I'm not a therapist, so I don't counsel.
There you go. So what are you, Haley? Tell us. Speak to us. Well, first of all, I want to say Haley was part of our Friends in Recovery community. About a year or so ago, she was holding a little, was it Saturday or Wednesday or something, an hour thing, and you had other things that came up and couldn't do it anymore. But we want to thank you for doing that for us, and she did it out of the goodness of her heart. So we really thank you for that. And I know I learned a lot on that when you came on, and maybe sometime in the near future we can bring you back if you have some time. So
I would love to. Yeah.
Anyways,
it was a food, body, and self group, and it was wonderful.
That's
so
right.
Nice to get to chat with everybody.
Yeah. So food, body, and self. I guess that's what you talk about, right? Is that you? Is that your coaching thing? Okay. Well, how about it? You got 15 minutes. Go. We'll tell you when to stop. No, I'm kidding.
Sure. I'll just talk.
You'll be good with that, I think.
That's right. Everybody will be good with that, right? Especially AI. So tell us a little bit about what you do and how you started maybe, and we'll ask them questions along the way.
Love it. Perfect. Okay. Well, thanks, Ed, for the intro. Yeah, I'm Haley. I am the founder of Cosana Coaching. I'm an eating disorder recovery coach, a yoga teacher, and a surf instructor. And I
Oh.
use all of those things to help individuals cultivate a healthy relationship with food, body, and self.
Hmm.
So I am in long-term recovery from multiple different eating disorders. Recovering from a food-based addiction or disorder is so different from a substance-based
Hmm.
disorder because we can't avoid eating. We
Yeah.
just can't. We have to do it
Yeah.
3 times a day, and that makes recovery really challenging. But it also makes it really beautiful, and it's just like this lovely teacher that I've gotten to have throughout my life. So I'm very grateful for the dysfunction that I've had, and this kind of wild ride I've had with food, because it really has connected me with my purpose, which is really helping other people have a healthy relationship
Mm.
with themselves. I'm like, I I really want to dismantle systems of oppression, and I think diet culture is a big
Mm.
one.
Yeah.
Diet culture makes people feel so powerless, so small, so inadequate. Like they're just like always striving for something other than who they already are. And we deserve so much better. Summer's coming up. I'm already seeing stuff about like summer body and cool
Mm.
sculpting and
Mm.
abs and like all this crap. And oh my God, it makes me so mad because there's no such thing. Like the bikini industrial complex literally invented the idea of a summer body for marketing purposes. Like
Mm.
it's a money making scheme. So as you can see, I get very passionate about this stuff. I love talking about it, and I really love helping people unplug from diet culture and tune back into
So
themselves.
diet culture, can you explain that? Because some people may or may not understand that. What is diet culture? What you're saying?
Diet culture is so challenging to pick up on because it's so normal.
Hmm.
And it's really like talk about losing weight. It's talk about being good or bad with food. It's talk about calories. It's a kind of striving always for a smaller body, a more toned body. It's
Hmm.
it's the opposite of accepting yourself in the now.
Hmm.
That's diet culture.
So accepting
Um,
yourself how you are is
mhm.
not is not is not cool. That's what
That's
it's
what they
telling
want
us.
us to think,
That's
right?
what they want us to think. Yeah. So then there's you go down these. So first of all, I went on this rant last week. All right, about the cereal fucking aisle. Right? Didn't I go on? Was it last week or whatever? I mean, think about go down. I want everybody to go down a cereal aisle and a soda aisle in any food store. Pick one: Food Lion, Harris Teeter, ShopRite, wherever you are, whatever it is. Go into a food store and go down those two particular aisles. There must be 75 to 100 feet of aisle on both sides, full of
Yeah.
sugar, every crap food you can imagine. And like isn't like get 10 isn't 10 choices enough, like a quarter of the aisle, right? Isn't that enough?
Apparently not.
And then they make it so nice, and you can eat this one, you eat that one, and checks and diet soda and this, and we're still overweight. Why is that? Is it because of this diet culture stuff?
I think diet culture actually makes us more sick. I think it does make us bigger. I don't think that there's like something fundamentally wrong with people who carry more weight. I think the big issue with diet culture, like the kind of crux of it all, is that diet culture has hijacked our thinking to conflate thinness with healthy,
Mm.
to conflate muscularity with health. And
Hmm.
I know that like when I had no body fat and I was like super muscular and pretty thin, like I was not healthy.
Mm.
But did people applaud me? Did people like make comments about me that made it seem like they thought I was healthy? For sure.
Mm.
So that's diet culture. Same with like I would even loop our habit of like talking about how we look into diet culture.
Hmm.
Because if diet culture didn't exist, I don't think we would care that much. But when
Mm.
we see people, a lot of people, I hear it all the time, go, "Oh my God, you look great," instead of being like, "Oh, it's so lovely to see you. My heart is like swelling to see your
Mm.
face." People are like, "Oh, you lost weight. You look great."
Mm.
Um,
Yeah,
Mm.
that's so true.
and
Yeah.
and it puts so much pressure on us when we realize that people we love are perceiving our body first before our humanity. that's when we start to prioritize our body over our own humanness. And that is diet culture, and that's the cycle, and that is what makes us sick.
Body before humanity. I love that. I don't love
Yeah.
it, but I'm just saying that's perfect definition of a diet culture. Like,
Right.
how do I look, right? And a lot of people look great, but how do they feel? Right? I mean, how are you
Yes.
feeling like inside, right? I know like last night I had a tub of Ben and Jerry think of Ben and Jerry's. But here's the thing, I ran 5 miles after work, and before that, I hiked. I'm doing this 29:29 challenge. We're climbing Mount Everest, not climbing Mount Everest, but we're doing the elevation of Mount Everest in Ontario in the summer, and I'm training for it. So my thought was, okay, well, I climbed for 2 hours at the gym, and I ran another 5 miles on the road. I can have Ben and Jerry's, right? But it does bother me after I eat it. So the addiction piece kicks in. And then after I eat it, I'm like, so my two schools of thought here, and just kind of guide me through this one.
Sure.
If anybody, if this is kind of how I've been programmed. I ran really hard. I did what I had to do, and then I ate Ben and Jerry's, and I felt guilty for it. Should I have those feelings for it, or is it there's just something that, oh my God, you shouldn't be doing that, or I don't know. Even a hot dog I was eating before on here, you're like, oh yeah, it's gonna. I'm like, what the fuck? What kind of health coach is she? Like, she's telling me,
Yeah,
good.
That's
Are you out of your mind?
behavior,
But I get it.
isn't
I get it. I get it.
That's
So
addict behavior. That's addict thinking. Because
Yeah.
what you're saying is, listen, I did all this shit today. I deserve it. Well, what do we say when we'd come home, want a glass of wine or a drink?
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
did
that's
what
true.
I did, you would pick up too.
But I think food's different.
Here's the deal, though. You don't have to deserve or earn ice cream. Like you
Okay.
could not have gone for a run, and you could still eat Ben and Jerry's. And the actual problem is whatever you believe about eating Ben and Jerry's, because it made you feel guilty.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What I believe about Ben and Jerry's or any food? Let's put X food in there. What does that mean? What I believe about it?
All right. So you told me that you felt guilty after eating Ben and Jerry's, even though you felt like you earned it, which is that we would call that diet culture talk too. Earning food, diet culture.
Okay.
You don't have to earn anything to eat it. Like you can just eat.
Okay.
And I know that sounds like you can just eat. That doesn't help anyone.
Okay.
Right.
No.
But at the end of the day, it is that simple. Once we peel back all the layers that have been put on top of us, all the shame and the shoulds and the don't eat this, eat that, that's all the diet culture speak. But when we get to the bottom of it, you can eat what you want, and you get to decide how you feel about it based off of your own values, your own body, your life. I love ice cream. Love it. I love it. I would eat it every day if I had it in my fridge every day. And I don't think that's a problem.
Okay.
I don't. And because I have so much permission to eat ice cream, I can have it every day if I want it. It has no power over me. So I don't feel guilty when I eat it. And when I eat it, I don't feel like I need to eat all of it because I know I can have it again tomorrow. I can eat it before dinner if I want. If I'm like, I want to make sure I have room for ice cream today.
Oh my
I
God.
can eat it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is a great time to eat ice cream because who doesn't love a 4 o'clock pick-me-up,
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. No, you're right. It's funny because I was thinking right outside of my porch right here, deciding walking up and down my alleyway here that we have. And I'm thinking, all right, well, I know I limited myself to one dessert this week. And I know Stacy's birthday is tomorrow night. And I know if I go get Ben and Jerry's tonight, I'm going to not be able to have it tomorrow night. Right. And that was my dilemma. I said, all right, well, I'm just going to go get it. And I'm not going to eat birthday cake or anything for the rest of the weekend. I got family coming over and we're not going to go to an ice cream place when they come down to the 90-degree weather from the north. Well, the Northeast is probably warm a little bit now, but, but that's it. I stopped I didn't give myself permission. And is that a problem in this world now? Not giving yourself permission?
What do you think the answer is for you? Intuitively, what thoughts are you having when you ask yourself that question? I
struggle. I'm going to be fat if I eat this. I'm my running is all for nothing. My, I don't know. You know what? I don't know what it is, Haley, because the messages are so mixed out there, right?
Yeah.
And it's so crazy that like, especially with alcohol, we know we don't drink it because it's going to do something to us. Food, we have, like you said, we have to eat food. So with
Yeah.
me, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what I have a nutritionist, and sometimes I'm sitting there thinking like, what does she know? Well, she knows a lot because she's the nutritionist, right? And then I'll go out and do my own thing anyways, right? And she, it's just this crazy, crazy mindset. So I am a purist on diet culture, then, ain't I?
Yeah. I mean,
Seriously.
I think a lot of people are. A lot of people are. We look for some external authority to affirm that we're doing the right thing, because that brings us a lot of comfort. That makes us feel safe. That makes us feel like we're like quote unquote on track. But at some point in my personal life, at least, like I've found that becoming my own ultimate authority in my life and being able to trust myself on that level, to be like my mom, who's like, yeah, you can have ice cream today if you want, like, and tomorrow and the next day. That brings me like peace and comfort to know that I have my best interest in heart. I will meet my needs and I will set the boundaries I need to. But I hear that like you're trying to set boundaries with food, but it's adding a lot of stress and pressure. So when you're noticing stress and pressure with food, that is a sign to like take a step back and look at everything, because something's not going right there. And it's probably a belief. Like usually at the end of the day, it's not what you're doing, it's like what you're thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is what you're thinking. So, listen, the show's not about me. All I want to think it's about me, but so were you under that diet culture kind of umbrella? And if you were, how did you get out of it? What was your food of choice, or what did you do? You said you were very skinny, so obviously you weren't overweight. And that looks different than somebody that's 400 pounds, right? I mean, you look at somebody that's 400 pounds, like, wow, that person's going to die. There's a problem there. You look at somebody like you that's in good shape, like, wow, she's in great shape. What a wonderful person she is. And
I want to stop you
go
because
ahead, yeah.
actually that is part of diet culture, that
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
you actually don't know if I'm healthy. I am. I feel very healthy.
Okay.
I am. But you were able to make that assumption about me based off of my body,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Which isn't a fair assumption, because a lot of people assumed I was really healthy when I was really disordered, when I was depriving myself of vital nutrients, when I was over exercising. And people really applauded that. People, were like, wow, I wish I had your self-discipline. And they had no idea that they were reinforcing extremely harmful behaviors, which is why I never, ever, ever congratulate someone for losing weight, because I have no idea what they did to do that.
God.
And I have no idea why they did it.
Yeah, that's true. Let me ask you, so then what's the difference between you when you were unhealthy and a person that's 400 pounds overweight? What's the difference?
Oh my gosh.
What's the
There could
similarities?
be,
I don't know. I mean, like, are you that same person? Or is that like the same kind of category? I don't even know how to ask that question. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, so I think like there's a word that I think just needs to be out there, and it's called fat phobia.
Okay.
Fat phobia is at the root of diet culture. The fear of fatness, the fundamental desire to get rid of fat people, the fear that if we ourselves become fat, we will be ostracized in the way that our culture has historically ostracized fat people. It's like racism, but it's with size. And so we really would all be benefited if we could learn to release our hatred of fatness and stop believing that fat people owe us health, they owe us weight loss, that they, we don't know anything about that 400-pound person, that theoretical 400-pound person. We don't know anything about them. And there's so much that's not understood about obesity, and there's so much that's been misunderstood about obesity. It's all just like behavioral issues or this or that. Well, there's a lot of genetic stuff, and the body keeps the score. A lot of people who have obesity have like really severe trauma. I know a lot of my clients come to me and they're like, yeah, this really horrific thing happened in my life and my body's never been the same size since.
Mm.
And I know that for myself, like I went through some pretty traumatic stuff and I wanted to control that pain that I was feeling from that trauma by not eating, but I couldn't help it. I was binge eating. I was soothing. I was insulating myself from the world. And especially as a woman where there's a certain desirable figure, to feel safe, it can feel safer on a very subconscious level to be fat because there's this, I don't agree with this belief. I think that fat people can be desirable. Fat people are beautiful. Fat people deserve to exist as they are. I have no right to tell a fat person to lose weight or that they don't deserve to wear a crop top or feel sexy as they are. But there is a cultural stigma that fatness is not sexy, that there's not a desirability around that, that it's just some like fetish. And I just don't think that's true. But on a subconscious level after trauma, I was like, well, if I'm not this like desirable physique, because I had internalized fat phobia. So if I don't have this desirable physique, then maybe I can protect myself from harm in the future. So I think it's so beneficial to everyone if we look towards fat people with so much more love and respect and acceptance, because at the end of the day, they're a human just like me. And I would love it if someone walked up to me and, you know, just treated me with respect, and didn't make assumptions about my health status, because as a stranger, like, what the heck?
Yeah. What do you know? Like, what do you know about me? Right. And well, but let's not get confused with people being overweight and being healthy, though, right? Being overweight is not healthy, correct?
Sure, but neither is being underweight.
Yeah,
Neither
of course.
is an eating disorder.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, it's not really about size.
Okay.
Like we so get caught up in size and pounds and the BMI. Like the BMI is literally bullshit. If you start looking into the BMI scale, I actually just saw a post on Instagram. It was so good. It was this woman who's real thin. She's at the very bottom of the BMI, you know, like 18, 19. It tells her she's in a healthy range. And she's like, I don't have my period. I'm losing my hair. I have no energy. I have no strength. And yet the BMI tells me I am in the green. I'm healthy.
Oh my God.
You know, then she gains some weight because she needs to. Her period returns. She's vivacious. She feels good about herself. She's curvy. She's, you know, she has energy to run, to do the things, she has a sex drive again. And it's telling her she's obese. The BMI is not a good metric of health. And I don't think the scale is either. We are so brilliant. Like the human system is just simply incredible. Like it is so intelligent. We don't need to step on a scale.
No, I agree with
you. To know
you.
how healthy we are.
No, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah. And you're 100% right. You know, I go on a scale very few. I know when I'm gaining weight because my pants get tight, then I know it's time to you know, whatever it is. You know, everybody has that certain pair of pants. If they gain a pound, they can feel it. If you lose a pound, you know it, right? And when I put those pants on, that's my good gauge to tell me. I mean, I love food and I love, you know, I love eating. We live in Charleston. I mean, it's the food capital of the world. I mean, there's every kind of food here. The food is just amazing down here. I didn't move here because of the traffic. It's not the reason why I moved down here, right? I moved down here because of the food and you know, where we live is wonderful too. But you know, but let me ask this. Let's shift gears a little bit. I get all that because we're going to be kind of tight for time here. So. All right, so let's take. We can see somebody that's overweight and like they might feel that they have to do something with that. You know what I mean? And whatever that is, and they come to you. But let's take a person that's not overweight and looks in the mirror and you said hair's falling out, no period, no sex drive, can't run, doesn't want to get off the couch, you know. How do you identify that? Like you're looking in the mirror, you're looking on the scale and you're looking at your pants, like, you know, everything, you know, like I look great in a bikini. No, I don't look great in a bikini. Well, I never wore one, so I probably do look good in a bikini, but,
next podcast.
Yeah, the bikini podcast. But, oh, by the way, the man or woman who ever I'm sorry, ladies, this is a man thing, but the man or woman, whoever invented the bikini and got you ladies to wear it in public is a fucking genius, guys. Sorry, he's a genius anyways, or she.
Well, that's a whole complex. Like the bikini industrial complex is
Wow,
something
okay.
like you can Google it. Like
Okay.
it is so tied into diet culture and the weight loss industry, which by the way, these are billion-dollar industries.
Yeah.
Like so when you wake up in the mirror and you think like, God, I hate myself, or like I'm worthless, or I'll never be good enough, or like how could someone love this? Like someone's making money off you thinking that. Like
Yeah, that's
someone
true.
has
That's true.
someone else,
Yeah.
a lot of other people actually have trained you to look at yourself that way.
Mm,
And it's so sad.
it
Like
is.
we
Yeah.
deserve so much
Yeah.
better. Like,
Yeah.
oh my
I
God, we're
agree with you.
brilliant.
I
And
agree with you.
and and we're not just our bodies.
Yeah.
Like, so for that to be the first thing that we see and judge ourselves on, the body becomes the scapegoat, really.
Mhm.
Like, it becomes a scapegoat for everything because it's the only thing that's tangible. We can't like hold our feelings in our hand and be like,
Yeah.
dang, that's ugly. Like that
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah.
Well, you can look at your body or hold on to the belly fat, which you've internalized as bad, even
Mhm.
though I've come to see mine as beautiful and
Mhm.
necessary and healthful.
Mhm.
But you can point to that. And so
Mhm.
it's so much easier to be like, well, that's the problem. If I just get
Mhm.
rid of
Blame
that, then this feeling will go away.
Oh yeah.
That's not where the feeling started, actually.
No.
So
No.
it's not going to fix it.
So weight loss and weight gain, either side of the spectrum is from maybe a trauma or a lifestyle or genetic. What you're saying?
All of it, all of those things. I mean, here's the other thing with diet culture, right? Diet culture trains us to believe that we can have the same body always, and that we should,
Mm-hmm.
and that it's a moral failure if we don't. If our
Mm-hmm.
body changes in size, it's a moral failure on
Mm-hmm.
our part, which is bonkers because as a woman, my body
Intermenopause.
changes. Yeah, think about menopause. I mean, we have along our entire life spectrum, we have seasons, right? We have youth, we have, like adolescence, we have adulthood, we have matrescence. Like we have all these times, and our body is by natural design going to look different. But then we talk about on a daily basis, like my body and belly size fluctuates throughout the entire 24-hour cycle.
Yeah.
On a
Yeah.
monthly cycle, before I ovulate, I have, my muscles can handle more, like I can do more cardio, I don't have bloating, I've got a ton of estrogen and all the happy hormones, so I'm like
Mm-hmm.
really, feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
After I ovulate though, it's like a plane crash. Like it's you're not supposed to really be lifting heavy, you're not supposed to be doing heavy cardio. So like this idea of like always doing the same thing and going hard and being consistent,
Mm-hmm.
like especially as a woman, like that's from diet culture. That's not like honoring our cyclical nature and the
Mm-hmm.
fact that like our body needs to slow down. It needs to go into fall into winter, and winter is like menstruation, where we actually
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't exercise at all besides maybe like
Wow.
gentle yoga and a walk. Like
Wow.
really
Okay.
rest, because that's what rejuvenates, replenishes our energy.
Mm-hmm.
Diet culture and chronically trying to lose weight and chronically trying to stay the exact same when we when we live in the physical world, and the physical world is constantly changing. I mean, you're just chasing your tail. You're just exhausting yourself
Mm-hmm.
trying to achieve this goal that was never meant for you. But diet culture teaches you to pursue.
So how do we get out of the diet culture when somebody comes to you and says, I look overweight, or I'm not overweight, or I am, or whatever it is, and and obviously you're talking, has to be a key point to almost everybody that knocks on your door and says hello. So what's the beginning of stopping that diet culture? Because first of all, what you were saying about, heavy, skinny, I think everybody should wear whatever they want, whatever they want. If it's a bikini, if it's not a bikini, if you're overweight, if you're not overweight, and people should stop shaming people, and people should stop saying, "Oh, that person shouldn't be wearing a bathing suit. We shouldn't be wearing a bikini." Bullshit. You shouldn't be fucking wearing a bikini. Whoever that guy is saying or that woman saying it. Think about it, right? I mean, but that's not going to stop. So we have to take this into our
But
own
it
hands.
will. I think it will. So here's
Okay.
here's what I found. So I had a loved one time say, there was a larger woman riding a bike, and this loved one of mine made a comment about, wow, like that person is way too big for that bike. And I kind of was like, oh, like, what made you say that? You know, they're just enjoying riding their bike.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh my gosh, you're right. Like, that was so rude of me.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's so normal. Like, it's like, I want to really normalize the fat phobia that we all have, because I think that helps us like feel comfy calling ourselves and each other out on it. And like, that's how this will change.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that we change it all is by getting rid of the fat phobia within ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the way that we help overcome racism is we learn how we are unconsciously being racist, right?
Yeah.
So we can't change the whole system. I would love to. I would love
Mm-hmm.
to just be able to like do that all, but it's all inner work. It all
Mm-hmm.
starts with us.
Well, we only can change ourselves. That's it. Like
Right.
if it's food, if it's alcohol, if it's mindset, if it's thinking, that fat people shouldn't ride a bike, or if it's black people shouldn't do this, or if it's white people should own it. It's first of all, it's fucked up thinking, right? I don't, that's number one. It just, this world is so cruel, right? But I can't worry about, because the election's coming up, and you hear about this one here. I don't have any control over it. I only have control over what I do
Right.
and what my world is. And if I can influence other people to be like me, or not to be like me, or just be okay with being okay with whatever that looks like, and being okay with people. That's the only thing I can do, And then in turn, maybe somebody who has this, who may look like you and has, like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. She's, she's in great shape, blah, blah, blah. We'll go get help with somebody like you, right? And
Right.
and figure that out. So what does that look like? Again, like I said, that diet culture, how do you get, we have a couple minutes here. How do you get somebody to understand you're okay the way you are? Like you understand you're the okay where you are. You're talking a little bit about your belly fat. I don't know if you have it. I'm not sure. But your face doesn't show it. But listen, you were okay with saying that on a podcast, and I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful, right? So how do you get somebody started to go there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long journey, like, right? Like, I've literally been doing this
yeah.
work over a decade. I have been doing this work for over a decade, and I'm committed to myself. Like, I think at the end of the day, like, I have made the choice to not reject myself. I have made the choice to have my own back and to give myself the benefit of the doubt. And I have fired my critical inner manager. Like, she was doing a shit job. I used to think that being self-critical like was necessary to stay motivated, to stay quote unquote like in line or safe, or like achieve my goals, or like I used to be afraid that I would just become obese if I like wasn't kind of mean to myself. But that's ridiculous when you think about it. Like, if you think about it, like an employer, if you had like a micromanaging, condescending, mean employer, like how much would you get done under their leadership?
Yeah.
Not much.
No.
But if you had a kind and compassionate leader who still held you accountable to meet your deadlines, but was like, hey, I'm here to help. Like, I noticed you kind of like struggled with this. Like, what do we need to do to like enable you to do this? Like, whoa, that's really nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
So helping reflect back to people the level of critical, like shame, like criticism and shame that they're projecting onto themselves is a key component to getting people started on this journey, because people don't want to be mean. Like, they don't really want to be mean to themselves. Sometimes there's some needing to uproot the belief of I deserve it. Like, I'm worthless. I'm a piece of trash. I really do deserve this kind of treatment. And that's some deeper healing. And that happens a lot. Most people with eating disorders have trauma. 50% of people with eating disorders also have substance use. So a lot of people,
wow.
They ditch the substances and then food gets really weird, like that happens all the time. It's so common. And it's a different kind of recovery. It is. It doesn't really match.
I agree with you. Absolutely. So,
yeah.
So we started off with the question, what is Cosana? What does that mean? And you said you made up the word. And we were Googling it, we were looking it up, and we were coming up with diabolical people and suave people and, all this stuff. And then we find out that you made it up. And at the beginning of the show, we were going to talk about that. But obviously, we got into some great conversation. I mean, it's wonderful. Just if anybody could even just understand diet culture and how deep they're into it, and there is help to get out of it, no matter what you look like. If you look normal, whatever, there is no. I always say there is no normal. The only thing normal in somebody's house is the setting on a fucking dishwasher. That's the only thing normal in somebody's house, because from house to house, normal is different.
Yeah.
And my daughter, I'm gonna get to the Cosana thing, but my daughter one day, I think you know her, but she asked. We were going past her friend's house, and this is how I realized nobody's normal, right? But we're going past her friend's house, and she goes, "Ed," she calls me Ed because he's Stacy's daughter. She goes, "Ed, how come so and so? I don't want to name her. So and so's family can't be normal like ours." I'm like, "Oh my God!" I'm like thinking to myself. That's when I realized, like, their normal is different than our normal. Your normal is different than your normal. And that could be like with where our weight is, or our health is. Like you're saying, there's seasons, there's a winter, there's a summer, there's a this, there's a that. And you have to be okay with it, because that's when all that bullshit starts with, they should look like this, or the commercial says you should wear this bikini, and you're 20 pounds overweight. Cold sculpting, I don't even know what the hell it is, but here's my
I don't either, but I hate it.
I know, like if you're not getting any kind of, like, if you're going somewhere and getting fat sucked off of you, you're gonna gain it fucking back again. That's my thoughts, because you have nothing to anyways, this is we're not going down that rabbit hole. So that's my thoughts on all that. So there is no normal anywhere. So when somebody comes to you, they want to say, I want to look normal, and they have to look as normal as they want to be, whatever that is. Correct?
Yeah, they have to learn how
feel,
to get comfortable defining healthy for themselves.
All right.
They have to become the authority in their life, in their relationship with food again, and like rebuild that self-trust. Like we so outsource that. Like we will outsource it to anyone. We want anyone else to tell us what to eat. A nutritionist, a diet, like keto, this, that, or the other. Like, but at the end of the day, your body knows, and you can trust it. But it takes a lot lot of time to build that trust back if you've lost that relationship.
Absolutely. Shit,
but you were saying you were talking about diet culture, saying like, well, diet culture says we should look like this, or if you wear a bikini, it should look like that. That is actually a really common starting place for me and my clients. Okay. They come in with all these shoulds. Mm-hmm. And anytime I hear should, I just replace it with shame. Mm. Because when you should on yourself, you're shaming yourself. You're saying I should be something other than what exactly I am right now. Yeah. And so learning to just simply replace that word with, it would benefit me if I, went to bed at 9 instead of I should go to bed at 9. It would benefit me to go to bed at 9. That sounds really different. There's no shame. Yeah. It's a positive now. So it's little things like that. It's like, it's mindset. It's really mindset. We don't talk. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a nutritionist. Some people come in being like, I just need to stick to my meal plan. I'm like, okay, like I can, I'm sure I can help you be accountable for that. But at the end of the day, that's
that's up to you. That's it. So here's the big question. I know we have to go, and I know we're cutting things short and going different directions, but what is Cosana? Why did you name your company that? What is that? Your last name's not Cosana. We know that. Your first name's definitely not Cosana. I don't know. Maybe that was your nickname in high school. By the way, you don't look anything over about 18 years old. So I don't know how you have 10 fucking years experience, but I'll take it because you know Stacy and you wouldn't lie to her. So, but what is it? How did you get that?
First, I'm in my late 20s, but I do look very young. I get that a lot. Yes. My younger sister, I'll get carded at a restaurant. Oh my God. And my younger sister won't. It's hilarious. Cosana is the joining of two Latin words. Co meaning with, and sana meaning health, wholeness, and healing. So Cosana really symbolizes my belief that deep healing happens in community. It happens in partnership. So as a coach, like I'm here to be my client's partner in healing. We're going to heal together. Like I am your friend in recovery,
there you go. I love
Exactly.
it.
So that's what
Okay.
Cosana means.
So it means with healing. Is that what you're saying?
Healing together.
Healing together.
I
Healing
love it.
together. That's
Take that,
listen.
Alexa.
Yeah, fuck you, Alexa. Go fuck yourself. You can Google that came in and go whatever. So, but no, that's great that it's that you put guys. If somebody put that kind of meaning behind a name, like they have to be good. So,
Yeah.
please, I'm gonna have all your show information below. Bambi will make sure we get that over to Carl. Her
Awesome.
contact information. You have a website and all that. If you want to just give that real
Yeah.
quick.
You can
So.
just tell us too
Yeah,
in
I've
the
got
And it'll go into the AI
go
stuff.
into
Yeah.
the AI.
perfect. Yeah, you can find me at cosanacoaching.com. The handle for Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook are all the same, Cosana Coaching. I do one-on-one eating disorder recovery coaching. You do not need a diagnosed eating disorder to work with me. If food just feels weird, if you feel crappy about yourself, if you're anxious about summer, like talk to me. Let's like work through that. And then I also have a really exciting program coming up. It's a 7-week eating disorder recovery program using chakra energy healing to overcome limiting beliefs, to uproot trauma, all sorts of amazing stuff. It's a group coaching program, so it's going to be an amazing community. You'll get time to like process and reflect. You'll get journaling prompts. You're going to learn so much about your nervous system because at the end of the day, chakras are just another way to look at the body and the nervous system. And so that's going to be launching in June. So stay tuned.
So will that be available on like a Zoom platform or something?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep. That'll be
good.
virtual.
Okay, because
Great.
billions of people over the world listen to this show. So
Very popular. Yep.
so we
Some
just got to make
people-
sure that the other countries can access you too,
Yeah.
because it's going to be a flood. So you better be prepared for all the calls that
I've
can
got
come
my
in.
life wrapped.
Guys, Haley Schiek from Cosana Coaching. See, got it right at the end.
Nice.
Thank you so much. I know we had a little difficulties at the beginning with some technical stuff, but this was a wonderful show.
Yeah.
I mean, I learn a lot. I know I ask a lot of questions while I'm the host. I think I'm supposed to, but but I hope everybody got as much as I did out of it, because all that stuff that you talked about in sort of a way, I know I'm linked to that, and I know I do that, and I know I shouldn't. I know shouldn't, right? I should on
Right, you're
myself,
catching
right?
yourself.
Exactly. So, I hope this helps. I know it's not your typical recovery show, but again, this is recovery from whatever it is, And Haley, thank you so much. It was great having you on the show. I'm sure we'll see you around sometime. And if you want to get a hold of her, website again is what?
CosanaCoaching.com. You can also
Okay.
text me at 843-849-4060 and set up a consult.
Perfect. Okay, guys. Thank you, Haley. Thank you, everybody. And we appreciate it. And don't shoot on yourself, everybody.
Yeah.
Love it. Thanks so much, Ed. Thanks, Bambi.
And go eat some cake, Ed.
That's it, guys.
Yeah, go